Alright, what I want to show you today is how to lay out your box for the Automata. So if you look here at the way this is laid out, and the first thing I want you to do after you get your pieces, you're going to have two sides, a front, and a top and a bottom. And I eventually want you to lay them out like this, but I also want you to check them. Like, take your two sides and get them arranged so that they feel like the cuts are accurate, that they're both they both pretty much match up the same, and then lay them out accordingly. So if you want to come over and get a shot of this, so very important to label all your pieces. First off, put your initials or your full name on all your pieces, and this can all be done in pencil. I use marker for the sake of the video so you can see everything well. Label your front, and that's going to go face down, so the good side is going to go face down, and all these marks are going to go on the inside of the box so that they're not visible one day and it looks nicer on the outside and there's no marks on the outside. So mark front, mark your sides, and mark your top and your bottom. And then what I want you to do is mark with a T and a B, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. And that's going to be useful later on when we go to glue this up, because I'm going to refer to the edges T and B when you go to glue. So those are going to be useful for that step. So once you're laid out like this, get your ruler, get a pencil, and we want to mark for the holes. So we're going to make marks for the bushings, the axle bushings on both sides, and we're going to make marks for the follower bushings on the top. So that's basically what our box looks like assembled in this position. Right now it's just all laid out, right? So on your side, there's two ways you can do this, but because this is 4 by 4, you can just make two diagonal lines by putting your straight edge on the two corners and making an X in the middle. Once you've got those two, we can work on the top. So most of you are just going to have two holes unless you chose to do 3 or even 4 follower rods. But either way, you're going to measure in 2 inches, make a mark, come over to this edge, do the same, and then scribe that line. That's the center because this is 4 inches, right? So that's basically our axle. And as per your directions or your plan, what you came up with as to where those follower rods need to land on your box, you're going to use your calculations that you came up with earlier in the class, and then you'll measure in whatever that distance is. So everybody's going to be different. These two just happen to be 1.5 inches on the example box, so I'll come in 1.5 inches on both sides. I'll make a mark, and that's where those two holes will be drilled at one point. And then what I want you to do is I want to take the hammer and the punch, and we want to make a mark so make sure that that point gets dead center, dead on the intersection that you made, and just give it a light tap. And do that to all of these. And what that does is it's going to give our drill bit a place to sit when we go to drill these so that it can't move off center and we have an accurate drill, an accurate hole right exactly where we want it. So use the punch and the hammer to mark all those, and that's it for this step.